Hello and welcome to the final round of the 2018 Jonesboro Open presented by Prodiscus. This is the third stop on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, and we are at the Disc Side of Heaven course in Jonesboro, Arkansas. BigSexy commentary, Nate Sexton and Jeremy Koling.
Yeah, and we've got Ricky Wysocki off to a lead of 22 under, trailed right there by Garrett Gurthie, James Conrad, and Colton Montgomery from 14th place all the way to lead card with a round of 54 in the second round.
Pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, and Nate, we have hole 1, 450 feet, beautiful starting hole, and Ricky Wysocki, James, Garrett, and Colton all have plenty of distance to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big crush, and it's a cold day again. But I would expect a couple shots up in the circle. These guys are juiced up. They can hear the crowd. It's got a nice gallery, so that's always exciting.
And we have the 2017 Jonesboro Open champion, Ricky Wysocki, here.
And that looks pretty good.
And that's looking beautiful. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Past the pin.
Speaking of juiced up.
Next off of the tee, Garrett Gurthie.
And here we've got Double G. Probably going to go pure hyzer.
And Garrett likes to throw these flat lines just like this right here. He's got all the power. He could get there hyzer if he needed to, but he really likes throwing the flat shots. It's one of the things he's so great at is coming straight across the body.
Off of the tee, James Conrad.
And my prediction here is that we're going to see some bouncy hair.
That's a bold prediction. Wow. Oh, you already got it right. Incredible.
I think that's good. Watch this. Boom!
Oh, and that snap. Wow, maybe a little too much. This thing is staying turned. Oh, and it catches the tree. That can be pretty tough, depending on where he fell down.
Yeah, and it's surprising to see James do that 2 rounds in a row. He turned it over way too much in round 2, and then there he is again.
And here's a player that a lot of you Jomez fans might not have gotten a taste of yet, but Colten Montgomery plays for Discmania. Really good player.
And like I said, I played with him in round 2, and the conditions were easily the worst of the tournament, and he was not affected by the conditions whatsoever. Just threw great shots the whole round. He's a player that can throw forehand and backhand alike. He prefers the backhand, but he's a really good spin putter, and yeah, he's a player that's up and coming and looking to make a name for himself.
See what he does right here as we saw James get out pretty well. Uh-oh.
That's got to sit, yeah.
Oh, good.
And once again, we see these pretty slopey hillsides not produce that punishing of results once the disc has started sliding or rolling.
Yeah, it's true. We haven't seen... I did see a few, for the weekend, but in general, the grass is thick enough, perhaps, that it's being a little kinder than you might think. Oh, and everybody just putts it low.
Yeah, 3 missed putts, 3 missed opportunities in the first hole.
A great
James
save.
not losing any ground with the par save after the errant tee shot.
And he's got to be pretty surprised and encouraged by that fact.
Yeah, sure.
Colton in for par.
Colton was the winner of the 2017 303 Open in Denver, Colorado last year. That was his first A-tier win and pretty dramatic victory. He beat a lot of big-name players and was very, very excited about getting his name out there. And like I said, this year he's driving around the Discmania RV and he's doing a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, it's great. Hole 2, par 4, 820 feet through the gap, down to the bottom of the valley, and then all the way back up, and maybe even a little more. The basket might be a little bit above the tee pad, actually. Really a far par 4. So these guys are going to try to get that landing zone, and then you got to play kind of a turnover shot, stay away from that OB fence, and then you have a very low ceiling to deal with as well on the approach.
And Ricky, just a picture-perfect shot there, right down the middle of the gap. I mean, that's really all you're ever looking for right there. If you can go further than that, more power to you, but that's really the ideal landing zone right there.
Yeah, it is. But speaking of going a little further.
Oh my gosh. Flipping it up. You see Ricky's disc in the background. Garrett just smashes past that. That is unbelievable.
Wow.
Just makes it look so easy, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
And James has thrown a nice hyzer shot out the gap, and that's going to be just fine.
Yeah, that's another big shot. James can crush. He's not a guy that I would say makes it look particularly easy. He's got a lot of big motion, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. You can tell he's absolutely crushing the disc.
Yeah, some players really like to put 100% effort, and sometimes that means that they club down on the disc, and that way they can throw full. And James is definitely one of those players. He likes to throw a full shot. He's got the touch to throw softer shots, as we've seen. I mean, he does very well in the woods because he has that touch, but he really likes to put his whole body into the shot. And look at this shot from Colton, really not looking like he threw 100%, but there he is inside the circle.
That was fantastic.
I'd say that's one of the things that Colton does so well is that he doesn't look like he's doing anything great. He just does everything really well, really sound fundamentals, and he always puts himself in good positions.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's golf for you. You don't really need to wow anybody, to put up a great score. If you're just hitting the landing zones and executing shots, things are going to come together. And finally here up to Garrett's drive after James clips a bit of a branch. This is leaking out a little bit.
And another round where Garrett just throws a booming drive and doesn't quite get that approach to where he'd like to feel comfortable with his putt for a birdie.
Oh, man. James, perfect height, just a little off.
And Garrett from just outside circle one. And
man,
that's an opportunity lost there with that drive.
Ooh, I was going to say, we got to get a birdie putt over the rim soon, and that was barely over the rim, but it was over the rim.
That is such a good birdie. This hole is so difficult, and it's surprising to me. Yeah, there you go. Nice. It's only the 7th hardest hole. I mean, according to the scores on Sunday, only averaged a quarter of a stroke above par, which is really surprising because it's just only... There's only 9% of the field that birdied the hole?
I got to think some of it comes down to the fact that there's not a whole lot of out of bounds, and a lot of players are probably smart enough to go, I'm probably not making this 3. I'm just going to cut this hole apart and get out of here with 4. So maybe the scoring average doesn't go way up, but obviously the birdie number very low.
Well, there's
hole 3, par 3, 435 going across the valley again. This is a big crush. Again, kind of similar to hole 1 in the feel of the shot. A little bit of turnover won't hurt you. You got to stay away from that OB fence on the left.
There's something about this hole. I guess it's a little bit more in line from the tee than hole 1, but it doesn't seem like it's nearly as far, even though it's only 15 feet shorter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little more... I have a hard time. I feel like since the drive is a little more closed in, though, I don't know. Maybe I'm not able to put quite as much of a rip on it, but I feel like they both play far. But this one, is definitely noticeably a bit shorter. And that is not bad.
Pushed the out of bounds, and Colton's is going to be right about 36, 37 feet or so. And Garrett's just looking to have this thing hold a turnover, and it's going to be skipping left, but we really haven't seen anybody get near the OB line, or really in any danger of going out of bounds, at least.
Yeah, it's sort of in your head more than it actually comes into play, I guess, because as some of these shots that I've been worried about as we've been doing these commentaries have not skipped as much as I feared they might.
Right, and look at this shot from James. That's a really nice throw there. Probably beautiful. 25 feet.
Yeah, perfect.
And there you see the ticker, 40 feet for Rick.
Oh wow. Beautiful putt. SloMez time. He got a great loft on that one.
That's vintage Ricky. We saw Ricky out there on the practice screen. Maybe. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Colton with a really nice birdie putt. Going back to what I was saying, Ricky was on the practice screen. He's always out there a lot, but I feel like he was out there even more this week than I've seen him for the rest of the season.
Yeah, maybe. And, you know, putting a performance together thus far, Garrett would like to clean the putt up just a little bit. He's had a birdie look on every hole, but not able to convert just yet. Oh, no.
That we do not see that from James. That is not to say that we expect to see that from Garrett, but that's a little bit more of Garrett's MO, self-admitted, that, you know, that's one of the things. If he can putt well, watch out, because nobody's throwing the disc better than Garrett Gurthie off the tee.
Yeah.
It's just James is a little bit more of the consistent. His drives are great, his putt's great, but he's not the best in anything.
Yep. I agree.
And so, yeah, surprising to see James come up low on that one.
Yeah, definitely. Hole 4 is a par 4, 630 feet with OB Island on the right and then an OB line coming in late on the left side that circles around the green. You just need a very low shot off the tee, or if you're Garrett or big power player, we might see the hyzer around the outside. This is perfect,
Ricky just
though.
keeping that. Oh, yeah, just line drive, drill into that hillside. And if you can see the disc on the other side of that hillside, you know you've put a big crush on that one. Good move by Ricky Wysocki. That should leave for pretty open, maybe 200-foot approach.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like a lot because these guys have to keep it underneath the ceiling, but that's all you really need. I mean, at 630 feet, these shots are going easily more than halfway there. And then it's a pretty simple, unobstructed putter-up shot if you can keep it anywhere near the middle.
And like you said, Garrett just inside line. That's going to leave probably 340 feet or so to the pin still.
Yeah, which can be tricky because the OB is inside the circle long. So if you really go at it, and maybe inside the circle left. So from a long way away, that OB is much scarier.
And James has gone way further left than he'd like to be as well, but he got maybe 300 feet of distance, so he's still going to be in a manageable range, but certainly going to be harder than he'd like to.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Oh my
Whoa.
goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. Garrett Gurthie.
That was awesome.
What a shot there. I mean, that is taking a really risky shot and executing it to perfection.
After what we just saw, I think we were underestimating at 340 also. Oh, as James goes out of bounds, but I wouldn't be surprised if Garrett was 400 short.
Yeah, that was very, very unfortunate for James and very impressive for Garrett.
It can be a really tough shot because it's kind of up over the hill. You can't see the base of the basket. So I feel like in my head, I'm always thinking, don't be short, don't be short. But
Right.
then the next thing you know, you're long.
And Colton using the keen wall there to his advantage, keeping the disc in bounds on his approach. Got away from him just a bit, I'd say. He'd probably like to be inside 25 feet from that range.
And here you can see Ricky getting the reward. Nice putter shot, nothing really in the way. And he's put it right there in the circle.
Yep, that's right. Perfect harp distance for Rick.
Colton just a little low.
Ooh, elevated music there for James as he saves his par.
That's
It's
a
good
great save. Into the headwind.
And good to see that he wasn't at all bothered by the really bad putt that he had on the previous hole.
Yeah. Ricky with the birdie.
And Garrett, the closest approach of the group with the worst tee shot. Let's see if he can convert on his birdie. There we go.
Nice.
If you don't already know, check out the Innova Factory Store online. It's the place to get factory seconds, some rare discs, and the big one being Tour Series. Support your local pro, your favorite pro, whoever it is.
Who's your favorite pro, Nate?
Man, it's probably Jeremy Koling this season. The guy is he's playing hot. Hole 5, par 3, downhill, 495 feet. You got the over the water. You got the over the OB gap here. This one, you really have to make a decision. Are you going to go wild and go for the 2, or are you going to just play for smart 3?
Yeah, I'd say probably 95%, if not more, of the field are going to be playing this safe hyzer shot that you see here from Ricky. It just really doesn't. You don't need the 2 at this point in the round. If this were hole 17, we'd probably see that 95% closer to maybe 70%.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah,
Garrett
this is a
going
shot
big.
that. Oh wow, he is. He's going the hyzer route, and he's gone out of bounds again. That's 2 rounds in a row. Very difficult shot to commit. That hyzer is so wide for this distance, and you got the water there on the right, and you really just don't want to lose your disc.
Definitely.
But Garrett has to go for that. You know, he's in a position where he's 4 back right now, and Ricky he's just playing so well always. You know that you have to make moves on Ricky last round. If you're down by 1 stroke, you have to make moves. If you're down 4, you got to make some crazy things happen.
Yeah, and this is Garrett's play. I mean, he's a power player, and this is looking good. Yeah, James.
Oh, yeah. Wow, right under the basket. If this doesn't get a follow flight, okay, I was going to say, if this one doesn't get a follow flight, yeah, nothing gets a follow flight. Because look at this. I mean, that's...
Look at him flying off the tee pad.
Textbook James. He's just ripping an ace run at this 500-foot hole. Beautiful shot there.
Man, that was great. These should be fairly simple upshots for these guys.
And Colton going with a wide approach there can be kind of scary because that tree has some pretty outward reaching limbs that could catch your disc and drop you out of bounds.
Absolutely.
Ricky's going for the same shot, maybe a little bit wider.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's ideal. And Garrett has to go to the drops in here. Let's see if he tries to give this a little bit of a run.
It looks a little overstable. Oh, not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, that was not... I don't think that was an intentional layup. I think that was certainly an effort on his part to try to make that and save his par.
James for the birdie. It feels like a little more than a birdie, though, and he sticks it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That has all the feeling of it. That's an eagle right there. I mean, only 4 players in the whole field got a 2 on this hole. Averaged 3.39. Say what you will, birdie, par, eagle. Oh, no.
Oh, man. Yeah, this was... I got this hole. Take a second to toot my own horn, and it was the shot of the tournament for me. I had a couple bad plays in the first 4 holes. I was kind of feeling crazy, and I went wide hyzer, and I put it 10 feet from the hole. Just got to tap in. I don't know. I was a man possessed there for a second.
Was anyone there to capture this on film so we could see what crazy, wild, loose Nate Sexton looks like?
I don't do it when there's cameras around. No, it's kind of you got to come out to the tournament when I'm sitting 20th place, and you might catch a little glimpse. Hole 6, par 3, downhill to the island, 315 feet. This one can get tough in the wind, and it's a bit of a windy day. You want to keep the disc low if possible. Kind of use this uphill green to control your speed. Going to see James, instead of the JK that he threw previously, he's got to go to the MD4. That's going to be the wind doing that.
And this is holding over to the right. That needs to get stable here.
Don't go through the gate. Oh, good.
Wow. And we saw Garrett go through that gate yesterday, so fortunate for James that he came up just a bit short of that unfortunate hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. This is going in hot.
Oh, no.
And Ricky Wysocki has opened the door.
Trying to keep it under the wind, but stayed a little too low. This is that same rock. Oh, boy, I don't know. Oh, it's dropping quick.
Yeah, that's fine.
Good.
It's a good shot there from Garrett. He'll
It's
be
hard to believe
picking up
when
at least a stroke.
Yeah, when Garrett throws, you just think it's going to go 400. So when I see that thing with height still, I'm like, oh, shoot, that's gone.
Yeah, sure.
There's a nice shot.
And 3 shots. And What would you say if I told you that this came in as the 6th hardest hole of the day?
It honestly doesn't
I just
surprise
think
me.
that it's crazy.
The headwind, man,
Yeah.
it's tough. Like, it's not a short, it's a long island. I
Yeah,
think the combination
315
of the
feet is,
yeah,
it's a tough shot, yeah.
I think the combination of the headwind and the downhill nature of the shot are really tough when you put them together. James with a little bit of a low putt there. He's going to be frustrated. He needs to get those things a little higher if he wants any chance here.
Yeah, I mean, that 5 back of Ricky, James needs to make that 2-stroke swing happen right there and get within 3 strokes. Let's see if Garrett can make that adjustment.
No.
Oh, man. And if James and Garrett are going to be doing that, trying to come from behind here and coming up short on all their putts, Ricky's just going to lick his chops and he's just going to run away with this.
Yeah, you cannot, I mean, as we've said, you can't miss opportunities. Ricky's already proven how dominant he can be at this course last year. It sets up great for his game, so it's going to take a very special effort. I would almost think, getting close to birdieing out from this point. That's as good as Ricky's going to play. You're going to have to be almost flawless to make any move on him at this point. Hole 7, par 4, 615 feet, well-guarded green between the fence and the trees. I think it's best to be a little bit left here and bring a forehand or turnover approach into the basket.
This is one of the few holes where I feel like you can just let an unadulterated rip on the disc. If you want to try to place it off to the left, you can. But if you just want to throw a disc hard, this is the place to do it.
Yeah, you can. You're free license, no OB. James looks like he's interested in doing just what you're talking about. Oh, yeah. He's going left, but he's going big.
Well, and that's, we saw the same thing from him yesterday, where the disc had a little bit too much nose up, and that just kind of slowed the disc down. I mean, he put a good full rip into it, but it didn't quite get the distance that you're going to see here from Garrett with his turnover. Oh, man.
And it's still going so fast.
I don't understand it. Somebody explain to me how he gets it so far. I still have no idea.
It just goes really fast. I think that's what it kind of boils down to.
Yes, so fast. I mean, look, you see here, Ricky's, he's a power player. And Mike hasn't moved. Our catch cam has not moved. Garrett just made Mike turn his camera twice as fast, Like, it's just bizarre.
Yep. James with a perfect shot.
That is so difficult to do. That angle is not conducive for a turnover shot to get that close, and James just made it look easy.
Ricky a little bit pinched in by this tree.
And that's a really nice approach there from Rick. Yep.
And this is tough. You don't really want to have to go flex here. You'd really like to use all the skip you can get. Oh, thrower alert.
Oh, thrower alert. And I think that was caused. That's a bad one. That was, he must have hit something right out of, right in front of him, because I think that just got smashed down to the ground.
Yeah, I mean, he's a much better player than that. That's an all-time highlight thrower, really. I mean, that's a textbook thrower, and sorry to say it. Obviously, he's not going to be happy with that shot.
Colton giving it a bit of a run there. Had to go through the gap there in the fence and the tree line. That was very nicely done.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
And Rick in there for
Birdie.
his birdie.
Garrett in for birdie.
Garrett
Nice
with a
putt.
nice stroke there.
And Colton to save a par. Yep.
And wow, what a shot there from James to get that easy tap in.
Yeah, that was awesome. Hole 8, par 3, 324. This one's elevated up on the barrel and tucked right behind this big tree that is kind of just full of vines and thorns and all kinds of stuff. So if you come up short, you could be in some trouble. Best plays, turnover mid-range or big hyzer forehand.
I also saw a bear in there earlier.
Oh, man.
And a wolverine. Yeah, a bear and a wolverine were fighting in there.
No, James, no, don't go over there.
Yeah, there's bears and wolverines in there, dude.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Maybe he can take an unplayable
yeah, that's
lie.
Bad. He's going to get mauled.
He'll take an unplayable lie.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
Oh, this could be a little too inside. Got good power, but just not a good line.
No, you do not want to be hanging out with wolverines. That's for sure.
Yeah, Ricky's just going to go to Birdie Town right now, I'm guessing. He doesn't really like
population Ricky at this point. Well,
yeah, he didn't like the line and thought it was a little too wide, and maybe it was, but he's still easily in the circle.
Colton's going really wide as well, and man, that bear trap in there by the basket really makes it so that players want to avoid it by any means necessary, and it tends to pull sidearms out wider than they would have ever normally gone.
Well, I mean, it's just golf. You don't want to lose an arm, a leg, to a bear. What's a birdie compared to like a limb?
Yeah, I'd say I would choose limbs every time.
Yeah, me too.
Well, just not the limbs of that tree. The limbs of that tree, that's bad.
Colton from 49 feet.
Colton. Oh.
Just low.
Nice effort there from Colton.
Nice, Ricky.
And like you said, Birdie Town population, Ricky Wysocki.
These guys just have some par putts to clean up. But things are starting to slip away from their grasp here.
With 10 holes left, we have a 5-stroke lead. That's just... Ricky is a player that plays with confidence, and when you give him the confidence of a 5-stroke lead, you're really just burying yourself right there.
Hole 9, par 4. This one does present kind of an opportunity to make a move if Rick throws any kind of mistake, because this hole requires 2 perfect shots. You got to get a big drive out there, and then the second shot needs to hyzer and get under and kind of past this tree, and it's a very slopey green, so not a hole you see too many park jobs on. Looks like Ricky...
out the gap, but that's going to be fading way out of position, way too far left.
Oh my.
Wow. Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and say birdie is out the window.
Yep, so there is a window of opportunity here for either James or Garrett or even Colton. Oh, yeah.
He got that a little flatter, so that should be a lot better position. It's still a little more left than he might like, but it's not bad.
Oh, yeah, that's ideal right there for Garrett. High, flip up, through the gap, big power. That's going to leave him probably 270 feet or so. You see that red and white 250 pole. Garrett came just a bit short of that, but with the angle to the basket, he's probably no further than 275 tops.
It's a good spot to be if you can reach it. And that's a really good landing zone right there for Colton. That's right where you want to be. Sets up the next shot as a big hyzer.
And Ricky having to go with, is that a forehand roll or just an air shot?
I couldn't quite tell.
He's at the top of the hill. Yeah, he's at the top of the hill. He still has some work to do from there, but yeah, that's not an easy approach. So fast sloping away from the hill. So let's see what Ricky can do there. And Colton's shot's going to leave him about 60 feet away from the birdie.
And that's the mistake that you see on this hole. It is so hard to convince yourself to throw that second shot hard enough.
And James going with a high spike hyzer option here.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
And you could hear, I mean, he put
tree.
everything. He put everything into that shot. You know, even though he's not much more than 300, but to go that wide, that high over everything, it's a crush.
Yeah. And Garrett right there at the edge of the circle. That's a really nice shot from there. It's, you know, you'd like to be closer, but there's really no room to swing that hyzer any closer than that without playing, you know, your chances with what happens to the disc once it hits that tree.
Definitely.
And wow, like to be able to land a hyzer on that downslope and then have the disc just stop, that just takes such great touch.
Yeah, using the putter, you know, really a well controlled shot. Here's kind of a death putt for Garrett.
Yeah, but also an open door here for him to get a stroke back.
And at least it didn't roll.
Yep. And speaking of open door here for James, maybe he can get a stroke back on Rick. Oh, yeah.
Nicely done. Great birdie. Ricky makes the save.
Another clean front nine from Rick. We haven't seen any red numbers in 27 holes from Ricky Wysocki. Just playing the course really is about as well as you can play it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's firing on all cylinders. Well, there you have it. Actually, look, Rick did have the bogey. I forgot on the island hole.
That's right.
But yeah, he still has the hot front nine even with that. That concludes our front nine final round coverage. Come back and join us for the final 9 holes of the Jonesboro Open. See if Ricky can hold on or if somebody comes charging from this card or another.